Hello to those watching this presentation. Our names are Matthew and Destiny, and we've researched Christianity's influence on abortion legislation. To do this, we have come up with a question to base our research around. How does a highly Christian population affect a society's legislation on abortion? Prior to our research, we predicted that a highly Christian populated society is more likely to have a strict abortion law. We began our research with a broad look at abortion legislations across the world, as well as the percentage of Christians who live in those countries.
So what we have here indicates abortion legislations across the world. The blue areas represent places in which abortion is legal. Green to black shows varying restrictions on abortion, and the gray areas have no information. This globe is a little outdated, as you can see in the United States. Although this globe states that abortion is legal in all areas of the US, this is no longer true as of 2019, which we will be speaking about later on. This table shows the top 10 countries in the world with the most Christians. Here we attempted to find some sort of correlation between a country's percentage of Christians and their abortion legislations. The conclusions we made from it both support and contrast our prediction. So in support of our prediction, we found that multiple states in the US have very strict abortion laws. In Brazil and Mexico, it's illegal except for certain circumstances. And Canada doesn't even make the rank and has no laws on abortion. In contrast to our prediction, we found that Russia is top 3 but has no laws on abortion, and Italy has a very high percentage of Christian citizens, but abortion is legal.
Next, we decided to take a more in-depth look at two of the most prevalent abortion legislations in society today, as well as how that would correlate to their Christian background. In Alabama, 86% of the population is Christian. It is located in the middle of the Bible Belt and is also one of the most religious states in the US. Looking at Northern Ireland, it is also Christian dominated, with 89% of the population being Catholic and an estimated 93% of the population being Christian.
The recent bill passed in Alabama on May 15th is called the Alabama Human Life Protection Act. This act considers the unborn child a person, and therefore performing an abortion is equal to committing murder. Abortion is forbidden at any stage of pregnancy, including cases of rape and/or incest. The doctor who performs the abortion is subject to life in prison, whereas the woman is not criminally liable. The only time abortion is accepted is to save the mother's life or if the fetus would die shortly after birth. We thought that one reason this law was put in place had to do with the fact that, if you recall from the previous slide, majority of citizens here are Christian. The Northern Ireland abortion law, on the other hand, is based on an act that was established in 1861 called the Offences Against the Person Act. This act states that abortion is illegal under all circumstances except to save the mother's life, and is too considered murder. Here, both the mother and the doctor are considered criminally responsible. The UK's Abortion Act in 1967, which now allows for lawful abortions across Great Britain up to 24 weeks into pregnancy and beyond that in certain circumstances, was never actually applied to Northern Ireland. This too supports our prediction that highly Christian populated societies are more likely to have strict abortion laws. We also found it interesting that a society would adopt such an old bill and still abide by it today. We feel that has something to do with why it is slightly stricter than Alabama's, considering it is from so long ago.
In comparing these two legislations, we found multiple similarities and differences. Both laws render abortion illegal under most circumstances and consider it as punishable by law, as committing first-degree murder. Also, in both cases, abortion leads to the possibility of a life in prison. As for differences, in Alabama, abortion is allowed in order to save the life of the mother, or if the fetus won't survive long after birth, and only the doctor who performs the abortion is considered criminally responsible. Whereas in Northern Ireland, abortion is allowed only to save the mother's life and both the doctor and the mother are considered criminally responsible. Lastly, we wanted to incorporate the media by looking at how citizens within both of these societies have responded to their legislation.
This is an article we found based on when Governor Kay Ivey of Alabama officially signed the Human Life Protection Act into law. The citizens of Alabama criticize this bill and say that it is a slap in the face to women voters. A Democrat even states that it just completely disregards women and the value of women and their voice. We have once again silenced women on a very personal issue. The map on the left indicates the states that have enacted a ban on all or most abortions. However, Kentucky, Mississippi, Ohio, and Georgia have approved bans on abortion only once a fetal heartbeat is detected. The Alabama bill goes further by seeking to ban abortion outright. Governor Kay Ivey states that this legislation stands as a powerful testament to Alabamians' deeply held belief that every life is precious and that every life is a sacred gift from God, which implies that this is a collective belief in the state. However, this article titled "Alabama State Legislators Are Wrong About Their Voters' Opinions on Abortion" proves just how false this actually is. Studies show that 4 out of 5 Alabamians actually oppose these laws. So why would politicians pass abortion bans opposed by their voters? This is thought to be because politicians don't have an accurate view on what their constituents want. Research shows that on average, state legislators overestimated their district's support for abortion bans by 15 percentage points. In other words, many state legislators believe that a majority of their constituents want them to ban abortions when in fact they do not. This article compares the Northern Ireland legislation to that of Alabama's and considers it harsher. Mara Clark from the London-based Abortion Support Network said that amid the international hue and cry over Alabama, people in Britain and across the world should never forget that in one part of the UK, there is an even more draconian anti-abortion regime. This basically means that the Alabama abortion law is not the worst thing with respect to Northern Ireland, where basic human reproductive rights are being denied to women. In summary of the 3 articles, the first 2 articles emphasize the Alabamian citizens' opposition to the new abortion legislation. The third article speaks more from the point of view of the citizens of Northern Ireland and states that, in comparison to Alabama's legislation, Northern Ireland's is much harsher. This article also informs the citizens of Alabama that they should consider the conditions that Northern Ireland women are facing before victimizing their own.
Conclusion and overall findings. Based on all of our research, we found there to be a small but significant correlation between a high Christian population and their abortion legislations. However, all of the contradicting information we found proves that correlation does not equal causation. Going back to our original hypothesis, we predicted that a highly Christian population would have a clear impact on the society's abortion legislation. The accuracy of this hypothesis, however, is proven not to be that simple. Although this correlation was true in some cases, we cannot say with certainty that religion is the only thing that determines abortion legislation in a society. Thank you. We hope you enjoyed our presentation, and we'd appreciate it if you leave comments or questions below in the comment section.